everybody. I would like to welcome you to our session, Partners at Learning program. It's under the Education Studies Department. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Chang, who will be giving us, having others being introduced by him.
Well, thank you so much for coming and for putting up with this lack of technology. We had a whole bunch of visuals. We were very excited about showing them to you, but we are going to be talking about a program that is very central to the work that we do in the Education Studies Department, which is the Partners at Learning program, or PAL. And it's a service learning component of our department where our undergraduate students have the opportunity to go and tutor and mentor in P through 12 public schools throughout the county. And the schools that we serve have large populations of underserved students, marginalized populations, and we want to talk about the work that we're doing. So we have a large cohort of speakers. They're all terrific. I have my colleague Karen Holzman here also. And you're going to get to know each of the participants through their stories we're going to share with you. So I know that we're pressed for time, so I'm just going to move through the slides quickly. And then if you have any questions, hopefully we'll have some time for that. Okay. Basically, what we do is the framework that we use to inform the work that we do, whether it is lesson planning or curriculum writing or the ways in which we interact with the community, the framework is very much rooted in equity and social justice. We look at challenging deficit notions of the student populations that we serve, as well as the communities that we serve, as they have been constructed as being deficient or sometimes as not caring about education. So we want our undergraduate students to understand some of the privileged notions that they may have obtained throughout their lives as to what it means to work in underserved communities and what it means to be a tutor or a mentor. We really want our students to contest that and to challenge those methods of use, but also to eventually become agents of change so that they can enact social action and be part of the change that we want to see in our communities and work in solidarity with the communities rather than just coming into communities from the ivory tower and saying what they should be doing, how they should be thinking about things. We really want to get away from what ETA calls damage-based approach to education. We want to be in community with the communities that we serve. So that's the framework that we use. We look at critical pedagogy, which seeks to empower through education and also challenges the status quo. We also send our students with a ton of information, so we don't meet them first week and say, okay, we'll see you second week, good luck, right? We have them actually, we have a rigorous curriculum that they go through, and that includes understanding what's going on in schools currently. So they do look at policy issues. They look at, for example, No Child Left Behind, Race to the Top, and they analyze them through the context, through the lens of their placement, but also their personal experiences. And we also talk about discriminatory policies like Proposition 27, which eliminate bilingual education in California, and how that affects the students that we work with. And we also want to make sure that they understand the connection between language, identity, and power, especially because we work with a large population of English learners in our schools. And we want our students to understand that linguistic minority children are highly marginalized, not only because of policies and practices, but because of the ways in which people perceive them as not having English, meaning that they sort of equate that with being deficient in some shape or form. So we want our students to be very aware of that. And that's the framework that guides the work that we do. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Karen.
I'm Karen Holtzman. So yeah, Luz gave you sort of the foundations of the framework. And in a nutshell, as Luz said, we're part of the Education Studies Department. We're a service learning program, so our students are enrolled in education studies classes, and they're also enrolled in a co-requisite practicum. So the academic work and the field work are, completely integrated. One doesn't make sense without the other, and that's a model that we feel is very strong and important to us in terms of helping our students get the most out of their experience and helping them be as effective as possible in our partner schools where they're working. We have a bunch of different PAL classes that are offered. All the PAL classes require at least 40 hours per quarter as part of the field component. We have between 300 and 400 students a year enrolled in PAL courses, so they're contributing 15,000 to 20,000 hours out in our partner schools each year. So we feel that they do really good work and make significant impact. And what we want to do is just introduce different students and some of our host teachers and have them talk a little bit about what the PAL experience is like for them. So we're going to start with Abigail.
Hello, my name is Abigail, and I am a transfer student originally from Los Angeles, and I am majoring in communications with a minor in public service and a specialization in education. It's a mouthful, but it's fun. And yeah, I'm currently a senior, and what am I involved in? As far as in regards to UCSD and my involvement, I am currently a full-time student and a president of the student organization centered on education and community service here on campus.
Especially being here at UCSD in La Jolla, it's really easy to lose sight of the larger community and the real world in general. So we, ask our students to think about their backgrounds, to think about their experiences here on campus, and then to make some predictions, and we do some activities where they try to make some estimates about what's going on out in San Diego County, and then we actually show them demographic data. And we were going to show you demographic data too. But as you can imagine, the population of students here at UCSD does not match the population of students in San Diego County. And that's something that we think is really significant, since UCSD is a public school in San Diego County. We're supposed to be serving our community, and we're really not doing that effectively. And so we really want our students to feel charged with that mission and a little bit of outrage about what's going on and why these things are happening. Sorry. So to that end, we try to give them some data about the county and also about San Diego Unified School District, which is by far the biggest school district in the county. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, and we were going to show you a visual, but I think it might take us longer to just look at the computer. So, are you familiar with the districts here in San Diego? Okay, so we have 40-something districts, right? The district that we serve the most is San Diego Unified School District, which is the second largest district in California. And we often talk about this district to our students because of the diversity of the population. So we show them a map, or we talk to the students about where we're located here in the Golden Triangle. And we tell them there are other neighborhoods in San Diego that you will get to explore. And San Diego does not look like that, right? So we want to make sure that they understand the diversity and just sort of get out of the bubble, the safety bubble of CSD, and just explore what the real San Diego looks like. And we talk about the diversity within the community of San Diego. We talk about the ethnic diversity. We also talk about the fact that San Diego Unified has about 28% of students that are English learners, so their first language is English. We have a large population of students with special needs. And about 64% of our students in San Diego Unified are receiving free or reduced lunch, meaning that they are at or below the income level. So for a lot of our students, this is sort of a shock because we're here in Illinois, how can that make this happen, right? But we also tell them that San Diego is a military community. We have a large military population here, and that community is also quite diverse. So we wanted to have Ms. Grace, one of our host teachers, talk about her experience with PAL.
Hi, I'm Christy. I am currently teaching at Monroe Park Middle School. I teach in a new arrival center, which is for newly arrived immigrants and refugees. So my class is a multi-age environment. So any student that comes to San Diego between 11 and 14 years old comes to my class. Our school is situated in City Heights, so we have a huge refugee population. Usually my students are from about 15 to 20 different countries and speak 15 to 20 different languages. And a lot of those languages are not written, they're only oral, and so they lack foundational literacy. If they come from refugee camps, they probably also lack basic aspects. So I have a wide range of students, and my class is anywhere between 25 involves in contact class. So that's the population that I work with, and I host all kinds of PAL students. I've had the Arts Bridge PAL, which focuses on integrating art. I've had secondary PAL students. I've had PAL research students. I'll take it. But they're very useful for me. It's very helpful for me to have on many levels. One is I have people in the classroom that can work with students one-on-one or in small groups, which allows me to differentiate my instruction. It also helps with the kids because they have role models. And a lot of the PALs that have come are immigrants, even though they're not from the same socioeconomic status, they are immigrants. And so it's great for the kids to see that, oh, they learned English and they went to college. And I always encourage them to talk about, like, don't talk about your classes and don't talk about your major, but like tell them how you only have one class a day. Or like, you know, you can buy like Rubios at school, you know. And it's those little things that kind of link them in, and it gives them a broader picture of the world, because their world really has been, most of my students, more than half are from refugee camps. So their world's been very small until now, you know. And then Luce always invites us up for a field trip, and we come up and get a tour and sit in class, and it's just a really powerful experience for the students that I benefit hugely, because I can tailor instruction for all the different types of students I have.
So Christy's a typical teacher. You know, we really want to work with lower income schools and lower income neighborhoods with diverse populations, and we really want our students to be able to support the teachers and support the students in ways that they really need. We also work with charter schools and alternative schools, and our preschool PAL class works at some community housing projects. So we really try to be very open and flexible with the kinds of partnerships and relationships we develop, and we really feel like the relationships are really at the core of what we do. We don't want to be sort of a hit and run, just throw a bunch of students out. We really want to develop meaningful partnerships where our students and schools can really benefit on multiple layers. So another example of that is Mr. Pena. I'll let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about what he does.
My name is Dan Pena. I teach at Garfield High School. It's an alternative school in downtown San Diego. It's near San Diego High. You said meaningful partnership, and that's really sort of what it's all about. I took some notes from my slide. Who am I? Got that. What we're doing now, there's all sorts of stuff going on now, and it's, I don't want to say it's just because I'm here and you're sitting there and Dr. Chun's down here, but it is really probably the best thing that we have going in our school, I think, is this relationship with PAL. It's been for more than 10 years, I think. It's primarily through EDS 136, I got the number right. And some of the experiences we've had, besides a long relationship, it's our only really reliable source of qualified tutors. And we have lots of what I call returning champions, people that will tutor for a quarter, but then they'll come back. I mean, we're talking years. People come back to the school, and they really like it. This afternoon, we're going to have a Spanish Literature Club with Dr. Chung and Dr. Forbes. Then next Friday, we're going to have an ex-PAL mentor who's going to take our students on a tour of City College. We're right next door to City College. We have a much better relationship with UCSD than City College. And it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Every fall, we start off with a collaboration with Dr. Chun's sociology class, language and sociology, where we study the same curriculum. We study deficit theory. Then we'll come out, students will come out and we'll have they'll get to be in lecture with Dr. Chung. It's really sort of, we start off the year that way. We go on to
What do you
we're
call
invited
that?
every quarter, yeah.
What do you call that experience?
I don't know.
The Dr. Chung experience.
Dr. Chung experience.
I don't know what, I don't know what is it called in the syllabus? Yes, there you go.
Yes, every quarter we're invited out here, and the students get to be part of the university. But it's I don't know, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's I think when the tutors come to our school, they are definitely changing, and our students are as well. So there's a lot of demystification that goes on, and there's, I don't have a bad thing to say about it. The only bad thing I would have to say is that somehow it stopped, but I don't think that's going to happen. So bringing endorsement. Did I leave anything unsaid? I don't know. This will be. We did oral presentations this week and last week in my class. It's a lot easier standing in the back of the classroom telling students what to do than getting up here, so they get a kick out of this. I sweated up here on the camera. So, and we have new students come in. We have brand new students come into our school. We have them quarterly. They get, for whatever reason, they aren't going to their home school, so they come to our school. And the tutors are very helpful in that transition once we have the classroom. It's nice to have extra adults in the room. I love it all the way around. That's it.
So I think you're probably getting the sense that we have goals on multiple levels, and Bruce and I are faculty in the Education Studies Department, so, we're very committed to our students, and we want to make sure that their experience is really high